good people, it's Carla P. Yarbrough of carlapyarbrough.com. I have a question for you. What do you want? I I'm in transition. Okay. I am transitioning in life from being mom and taking care of everybody to just really focusing on me and my career because my kids are grown, right? And you know me, I'm all about purpose. My purpose is to help other people find and live out the purpose God has for their life. And I've been doing that with my family for so many years, for so long. And now, and I've been helping other people too, but I'm really in a place in my life where I really don't have to focus on my family like that. And it's been really interesting. And I was in a conversation this morning. My husband actually my husband and I were actually talking this morning about, transitioning and some things that are happening, career wise for both of us. And I had to answer that question. What do I want? What do I want to do? What do I want my life to look like? And a lot of times when we think about what we want our life to look like, it's always focused on purely money. We're talking about, okay, I want to travel, I want to have leisure, I want to go to brunches, I want to go to lunches, I want to go to spas, I want to be able to have season tickets to whatever game if you're a man, or, play golf all the time or whatever it is. But we don't think about a lot of times, like where we want to live, what we want our career to look like, because, if you Christian, if you know Jesus, retirement ain't for you. That does not mean you're going to be working as hard all the time, but it does mean that you will, excuse me, it does mean that, you'll always be, adding to the kingdom of God. So what do you want that to look like? What do you want your life to look like in that respect? Hold, please. I got a tickle in my throat as soon as I start talking, y'all. Isn't that something? Anyway, but, what is it? What do you want that to look like? What do you want your life to look like? Where do you want to live? A lot of times we're like, okay, we're all, especially as Christians, we're all like, oh, whatever the Lord wants for me, whatever. And the Lord's like, I said, I give you the desires of your heart. What is the desire of your heart? Now, we know if you are a Christian and you are doing what God, you are spending time in your word, or you're talking to him, the desires of your heart, the desires of your heart are not going to be sinister and crazy and sinful and foolish, But he's like, where do you want to live? What do you like? I gave you all these desires. Talk to me about it. What do you want? And I had to really face that thing this morning. And I'm like, I am still working that out. I am really still working that out. And I'm like, how do I work that out? I've been praying about it. I know that if I'm talking about for myself, I love helping people. I love giving information. I love coming on here and talking to you guys about purpose and what you need to do to find your purpose and all of those things. And I'm like, I love doing that. And I love speaking. People that know me and are close to me are like, would be like, what? When I first started talking about, I like to speak and I enjoy speaking, they were like, what? Because they traditionally know me as more introverted. And I really, I like people, I like y'all. I like people and stuff like that. But when I'm in a group of people, I'm primarily quiet. I kind of watch. I like to watch people and watch interactions and sit back and, and I am the girl that can go and never leave her home. I can sit up here and read all day or work and, and put out videos, but not have to go out. But I love speaking to people. And so when I start saying I wanted to, that, I feel like the Lord called me to be that public speaker. Like my sisters and even my dad and my husband was like, huh? Really? That's what you're going to do? But it's been such a blessing to be able to go out and speak to people about the purpose that God has for their lives. And I'm like, okay, so what does that look like in these later years? Because, when my kids were smaller, when my kids were younger, even when they were teenagers, and starting out their college journeys, I needed to be available. So traveling like I really desired to travel for work and speaking wasn't something that I wanted to do. But now my youngest is about to graduate from college this year. And I'm like, oh, can he make me feel like I'm getting old? But anyway, she's about to graduate from college this year in a few months. And I'm like, wow, I don't have to be available like that. And transitioning into something completely and totally different that the Lord has for my life. You know, I always talk about how you can be multi-purpose, and I know that I am multi-purpose. I am, and because my first purpose was to raise amazing children, and I have done that. I have raised my family. I was a stay-at-home homeschooling mom. I've done that. I got amazing kids. They're doing, doing what God called them to do. I've helped my husband in his business, and that's wonderful. But it's like now he's like, okay, now it's time for you to go out and do that thing I called you to do with helping other people. Find that purpose, that just like you helped your family find their purpose, and live out that purpose. And doing that through speaking engagements, and doing that through travel, and doing that through things like doing this YouTube video and sharing information. And I'm like, okay, so that's fine. But if I'm going to travel this much, and where am I going to live? Where do I want to live? We don't need this big house anymore. My kids are grown. They're trying to get out of here. We don't need this big house anymore. And where am I going to get all this help from? And, so I just really had to think about what I want. And I'm asking you that question. If you are in any type of transition, or if you have not begun your purpose journey and you have not started figuring out what, your purpose is, what do you want? That's the first thing. Do you really want to live out the purpose that God has for your life? I'm looking at a lot of people being frustrated right now with their careers and with their life in general. And a lot of that frustration is because you are trying to do it your way. Because you're trying to do it your way, you haven't even asked the Lord what he has for you. You haven't even stopped to figure out what you desire, what you like, what you don't like, what kind of life do you like. You're in the rat race of just trying to make it happen, trying to get your family taken care of, trying to raise your kids, go to work every day, make that dinner, get the homework done, put them to bed, start all over, wash, rinse and repeat. And then once they're adults, like my kids are now, you're like, oh, wait, what? I'm supposed to be what? Doing something new? Am I supposed to be doing something new? What is that? Who am I? I remember I used to like stuff. I was doing I did a women's conference this past I think it was September. Yeah, I did a women's conference this past September, and I was one of the counselors and for the women, and it was really interesting. I was just talking, because I am about purpose, and so people that were coming to see me were really wanting to, figure out purpose and get on that path. And so I was talking to one woman, and she was a little bit older than me. And she was having struggles because she was like, I don't know what I even like. I don't know who I am apart from my kids and my husband. And I understand that. But she was so lost. She wasn't sad about it. Her daughter was, the funny thing is, her daughter was the one that brought her to see me, that signed her up for the session with me. And she was like, because my mom needs to do some stuff. She just sit in the house and she don't do nothing but hang out with my dad. And and I was like, okay, well, let's talk to your mama. I know you have desires and dreams for your mama, but let's talk to your mama, see what she wants. Her mother was just sitting there looking like, I'm here because she told me to be here. And I said, well, honey, what do you want to do? And she said, I don't know. I said, what do you like to do? She said, I like to hang out with my husband. And I was like, that's a good thing. I like to hang out with my grandkids. I said, that's a wonderful thing. I said, but what do you like to do other that if your grandkids went on vacation with their parents, and your husband had to go away for a business trip, and he was going to be gone for 2 weeks, and they were going to be gone for 2 weeks, what would you do? And she got the blankest look. She was like, I don't know. I go with him. I said, you can't go with him. And she had absolutely no idea, because she didn't know who she was anymore. And I have been in that place, because as a mom, or as a parent, period, because it's not just moms, because dads do get caught in that same rat race where they don't know who they are anymore. Because as a father, a lot of times you're making the money. I got to make the money. I got to make the money. I got to make the money and bring the money home. And I got to go to work. I got to go to church and serve the church. I got to go work and come home, and I watch the game. I get up, watch the news, and get up, wash it, rinse and repeat. And so they don't, a lot of times when their kids are grown and they don't have to worry about making so much money, and they have the retire, they just sitting around like talking about, huh? They like, okay, I guess I'm going to go golf. and go to the game. But as far as what they want to do with themselves, a lot of times they don't know either. So it's not just moms. So I'm going to, just like I'm in this stage, I'm going to encourage you, if no matter what age you are, no matter what age you are, think about what you want. Think about who you are. Who did God create? Don't lose that. If you're younger and you're in a rat race and you're listening to this, think about that so that when you get to be my big age, when you get to be this big age, you are not sitting back saying, okay, wait, who am I again? I forgot. Think about that. Write it down. Journal. Think about who you were before you had the kids and the family and the husband. Think and the career. And let's start working on finding that purpose that God has for you, so that you can start working on it now. You can even start living in that now. Living your purpose now. You don't have to wait till your kids are grown and gone and start living out your purpose. No, you can start doing that now. You can start prepping for that, because there's preparation that needs to be done. There is, and if you've never thought about it, start thinking about it, because it's a real interesting thing to have a conversation and somebody asks you what you want, and you're like, that's a good question. That's a real good question. Who are you? Now, I know who I am. I know what I'm purposed to do. I'm purposed to help you find and walk out the purpose that God has for your life. And I'm going to, wait a minute. Hold on. I'm going to use my working copy here because I put the other one over there. You know what? I'm going to get the nice copy. Hold on just a second. There you go. I hope I didn't show y'all nothing that y'all shouldn't see. Anyway, if you have not found your purpose, okay? If you don't know what your purpose to do, right? I have written a book. That's because I know what I'm purposed to do. It is to help you find and walk out the purpose that God has for your life. And in doing that, he had me write a book, and it's called The Truth About Purpose and How to Find It. And there it is. I'm trying to hold it steady so that you can see it. It's called The Truth About Purpose and How to Find It by Carla P. Yarbrough. Look at that. Isn't that special? There you go. So you can see that. So and thing is, you can go and get this book. And it has a workbook that goes along with it. It does have a workbook that goes along with it. But you can go and get it. You can go and get it at Amazon. Yeah, you can go click the link. There's going to be a link below. And so you can go to my author's page and you can get the book and the workbook. And it's not expensive at all, because the Lord didn't want it to be expensive, because he wanted to be accessible to you. But you can go and get the book at Amazon, and you can find your purpose. And then you can really start asking yourself, because in the book, it's going to help you figure out who you are. And it'll help you start answering that question of what you want. What do you want your purpose career to look like? What do you want your purpose-driven life to look like? Now, just like I'm trying to figure that out, because now I'm like, okay, now my kids are grown. I want to travel more, and I want to do this, and I want to do that. And so I'm really trying to, so today I'm going to sit down and kind of journal that out of what I really want it to look like and where I want to live and how, because I have that opportunity now to live those things that God gave me to live out. Okay. I have the opportunity now to do that. And I'm really excited about it. But I had to answer that question this morning. And I was like, how many other people have to answer that question? What they want. So just like I'm answering that question, you answer that question. And go and get the book, The Truth About Purpose and How to Find It. Like I said, there'll be a link below this video. Where you can click on and go to my author's page, and you could check out my podcast, because I just started a podcast not too long ago. It's really interesting. I've never done this before. I didn't even know I was going to have to do a podcast. So the Lord told me I was going to have to do a podcast, and this is going all along with what I want, who he created me to be. Who he created me to be, and how to help you guys find and live out the purpose that God has for your life. Okay? So I'm rambling now. So I just wanted to, I had that question in my head, and I was like, what are we going to ask? Since the Lord asked me that question, I'm going to ask y'all, what do you want? Okay? I'm going to talk to you soon. I'm going to get some work done. I got some speaking engagements coming up that I need to write for and start practicing so that I can give a good message on those days. Okay? And if you want to connect with me, there's a link below that you can connect with me as well to for any events, or if you want to, your events that where you have women or people that want to find their purpose, or anything that has to do with purpose or faith. I'm really available, and I love speaking to you, even though I'm a little bit introverted. Okay, I will talk to you soon. Bye bye.